going to say a couple Bible verses here as it pertains to family. Both positive and negative will I speak on family in this video. So here we go. First one is Colossians 3:18 through 21, provides guidelines for wives, husbands, and children, outlining roles and responsibilities. As it pertains to love and respect, 1 Corinthians 13:4 through 7 describes the nature of love, which is essential for building healthy family relationships. Proverbs 1:8 emphasizes the importance of listening to and respecting parents. Then there is Luke 12:51 through 53, acknowledges that Jesus' message can cause division with families, but also highlights the importance of prioritizing faith. Then you have the importance of forgiveness, which is Colossians 3:13, instructs believers to forgive one another, a crucial step in healing family rifts. Healthy family structure, Ephesians 6:4, instructs fathers not to provoke their children, emphasizes the need for loving and responsible parenting. On that note, a friend of mine wanted me to speak on this because I was emphasizing how much I was so happy and proud of the relationship that has only gotten stronger throughout the past 4 years between my family and I. And it's just steadily growing stronger. We are learning. We are calmly learning. We still have our spats from here and there, but we get through it, we get over it, we move on, we cope, we move on, and we are stronger for it. As it pertains to other families, though, I do understand that there are certain situations where, say, a certain individual may not have any kind of close relationship with their family because maybe the mother or the dad is very toxic and abusive, and the person is basically having to, lack of a better phrase, house hop, having to stay with a friend, try to get a job and get a hotel and stuff like that. I understand those dark situations. Sometimes they are for the better. Sometimes they are good, and like I stated, they're for the better. And I do apologize. I don't have all the wisdom in the world to give to those type of people in those situations. The only thing that I could tell you is, in your darkest moments, in the moments where you feel like giving up, in the moments where you feel like nobody loves me, I'm worthless, nothing is working out, I don't have any faith in anything, because every time I have tried to give faith to something, it has blown up in my face. I am sick to death of it. Every time you get to those feelings, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, think about any good points that you have in your life. Yes, focus on the positives, absolutely. Because sometimes, a lot of us, especially if you are watching these videos and say you are not a believer of God, I really wish you would grow closer to Him, and I really wish that you would develop a stronger relationship with Him, because that is the only way you are going to get any kind of peace in your life. Because once you accept God into your life, and once you allow the Spirit of God to come into your life, and not only into your life, but once you allow Him in, you will have that spiritual glow, and you will have that love that will basically stretch out to many other people. So literally, God will help your situation. Sometimes He will use you to help your situation. You may think that, it's impossible for me and my family to ever, reconcile. But, just through you bettering yourself through God can actually affect them. Because I truly believe that deep down, no matter what any parent does, every single parent, even if they are like the worst scum of the earth, I just know that every single one of them every parent, every guardian has that root, has that little spark of nurture within them. That spark of, that is my child, I want better for them. But a lot of times we get in our own way. We basically decide, well, I'm a piece of crap. They're better off without me, and they're probably just a chip off the old block, because if it didn't work out for me, it ain't going to work out for them. But if you prove them wrong, that will start to plant a seed in them, and that will start to help them, and also they will be very proud of you. They may not show it directly to you, they may not show it, they may not even say it, but they will, deep down, they will be very proud that somehow, some way, that they basically created you. Because you have bettered yourself, you have achieved what they never could. There will be a sense of pride that they will have, that they are very happy for you, and that somehow they were able to literally give birth to somebody who would be as amazing to achieve what they never could. And that right there could basically inspire them to keep fighting, to actually try to improve themselves. And I know a lot of times it's going to be very dark, and I know a lot of times it's real good, it's real easy to listen to all the negative things, all the curse words, all the hateful, all the evil, vile things that they say to you. It's very easy just to scream back at them and go, shut up, and like you slam the door, and like you both have an interaction where you both say the negative words, you both say really hurtful things, because it turns into a game of who can hurt the other more. I'm not going to tell you that it's very easy just to go, I won't do that, because I'll be prayed up. But I understand we are all human, and like I said in Romans, we all fall short. We all succumb to our anger. We all succumb to it. Yes, we do. What's important is that we don't let it consume us. We don't let it continue. We don't let it be the only thing in the relationship. Like, we don't let it stay there. We don't just argue and brood for hours or years. And if the other party in this conversation is wanting to do that, you let them do that. You just prove to them that, look, I made a mistake, we need to move forward. I'd like to move forward. And if they don't, if they want to be petty, you can't do anything about that. That is not your problem. That is not on you. It is not your responsibility. That is something that they have to figure out for themselves. And I know I'm all over the place, but I can only express to you how I've dealt with these types of situations. I thankfully, by the grace of God, have never had a situation where I was forcibly removed from my house and forced to live out on the streets and try to beg for food and beg for money. No, I've never been there. I can't even imagine how hard that would be. I'd be scared to death because, one, it'd be such a shock, and two, I still can't even imagine that, because I just know that I would be taken care of in some way, because my family loves me enough to where I would not have to ever deal with that. I would have my grandmother, if that was the case. I would have my aunt. I would have, friends. I have these things, but not everybody does, and I'm sorry about that. I can't do nothing about that. All I can do is try to be motivating to y'all. And the best thing that I can do for y'all, and I understand not everyone's going to believe in God, but I'm telling you, this is the only way. This is the only way. This is the only way to find true happiness. This is the only way to sustain happiness, is to truly be connected with God. And how you know whenever everything starts to fall apart and you want to look up and blame God, lots of times, this is for myself included, we have to take a step back and go, what have I done to throw me off course? Have I taken my eyes off God? I like to say I'm a Christian. I like to say I'm this, perfect follower. I like to think that, Not literally. I don't think that, because I know I screw up a lot and I try to get better. But a lot of times we will think that, we're doing very well. But you've been thrown off course whenever you literally feel like everything's going wonky, because it's like, okay, something's off here. I've done something wrong. And a lot of people don't want to admit that they have messed up. A lot of times we want to blame God. We want to blame the family. We want to blame something else. But 9 times out of 10, it's not 100% the other person's fault. It's, were you around the wrong people? Were you saying the wrong thing that instigated something? There's always time for reflection. And I've learned that many, many times in my life. Such as any kind of arguments I've ever gotten into. Especially lots of times now, like whenever I have to double check something that's actually in the Bible, because a lot of times I want to go from memory from what I've either seen in a movie, I've heard on TV, I've heard on TikTok, or I've heard a preacher talk about. I won't make sure for myself sometimes, which this pertains to politics too, with anybody, I'm sure, or just politics or any kind of information where they just take what someone says and run with it. I encourage you to double check. If you doubt what I've read, if you doubt the Bible verses I have read, go read the King James Version and look up the Bible verses that I have pointed out to you. If you doubt something that I say in regards to politics, which you will not really hear me talking about politics because I don't have a horse in that race. But if I was to say something, by all means, research it. Do not just take somebody's word for it. Do the research, look it up, make sure. Because you don't want to be spreading misinformation. You don't want to be misinterpreting things, interpreting the Bible. You don't want to be misinterpreting anybody. You want to get the facts straight as much as you can. But I digress. As far as family goes, I love my family so much. I literally cannot stand to be away from them. If I go visit a friend for a week, I feel this dread, because all I want is to be back with my family. All I want to do is be back with my sister, back with my mother, back with my niece. I want to be back in my comfort zone, as they say. But it's not just about the comfort zone. It's just, I just love them and I want to be around them. I don't want to always be around people that I don't want to be around, but that's life. We're going to have to be like that in certain situations. Jobs, school, etc. And like I tell my niece every day, whenever she's upset and she doesn't know what to tell her little friend, because maybe a little friend of hers is upset, and she doesn't know what to tell her to make her feel better. She tells me that, it'll get better, and to trust in God, and also to focus on her, because that they're friends, like, oh, I'm your friend, I'm here for you. Like, she does all those things, and she still gets upset, and I tell her, I'm like, look, baby girl, the best thing you can do, no matter how hard it gets, as long as you are still trying to be light on somebody's dark day in any form, you are doing the Lord's work. You are doing good. Even if you don't make them feel better, they know they at least got one friend that cares. No matter how depressed they are, they cannot leave that day, they cannot leave that school, leave that workplace without going, I at least had somebody trying to help me. Like, they can't say they didn't. So, you're doing good, sweetie. Just keep on. As I say as I've said to a lot of people, it's something that it's a phrase I've coined called "be strong, fight on." It's true. It's true. You just got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep persevering. No matter how hard it gets, you just got to focus on positive. You just got to do anything you can to move forward. And a lot of times, sometimes even if you want to move forward, sometimes you just need a break. Take a stop, take a step back, take a breath, breathe, recuperate, rest for a second, and then keep going. Don't think of a moment in your life with your family, or even in a relationship, like a romantic relationship. Don't think of a moment where everything feels like it's stopped. Like, I want to push forward, but I feel like I can't. There's this wall in front of me. Maybe that wall isn't to keep you from moving forward. Maybe it's just to stop you just for a second to catch your breath. Maybe it's just your breathing point, you know? And then once you have taken a breath, once you've rested, you realize you can walk around the wall. But I know I've been kind of all over the place with this video. I really hope that something in this big bowl of spaghetti of this video that I've just went on a tangent with. I'm trying to stay on track. I hope I did my best with staying on track with this. This was a hard video to talk about, because I could have done the video where I just not gloated. Well, I guess it is gloating by nature, but not maliciously. But I could have just, basically just constantly said, oh, my family's great. We're having such a good time. I could have went on and on about how everything's so great. But that's not going to help anyone. That's just going to make everyone go either, oh, that's good for you, or they're going to be like, oh, please be quiet. Oh, I don't want to hear that. My family's not that great. So it's about trying to help y'all. And as it comes to a toxic family member or a toxic relationship, and you don't know what to do, and you feel that your family is not a family, all I could say to you is, one, God loves you. The Father loves you. You have a Father, no matter what, who loves you, and He wants you to come home. He wants you to talk to Him. He wants a relationship with you. And as far as a brother goes, that is me. I wish I can do more than what I am doing in this video, on these videos, but whatever I say to motivate y'all, or that motivates y'all, I'm thankful for that. And if y'all just need to speak, if y'all just need to talk, there's ways of getting in contact with me. You can contact me via email. You can contact me via Facebook. I have a link, I believe, on my website, on my YouTube page. If not on this YouTube page, it is on my first Leowolf TV YouTube page. So my ears always open, and I don't want to give you false hope that I will have all the answers, because I don't. I do not have all the answers. All I can tell you is, from my own experiences, I can only point in a direction. I can't necessarily take you there. I don't want you to think that I have all the answers, but I will do my best to try and make y'all feel at home, make y'all feel loved, make y'all feel valued. Because that's how y'all make me feel every time y'all watch a video, every time y'all leave a like, a comment, anything like that. Any kind of support y'all give me in any form, that makes me feel valued, that makes me want to continue making these videos, that helps me realize that I'm not wasting time, that there are people who actually do value my opinions, who value my wisdom, for lack of a better phrase. Because I didn't even want to call this Walk with Wisdom originally, because I was a little afraid of coming off vain or arrogant, like, oh, my vast infinite wisdom. But that's not what it was. It was just, wisdom is basically just, I've gotten wiser as I've gotten older through certain experiences, and that's all I can share. I'm not going to sit here and brag and say I have the wisdom of the ages and I can give you the answer to everything. The only answer I can give you that is the answer to everything, that will literally help you in everything, and you have to believe this, is God. Trust in God with all your might. Give him a lot more time than you need. Grow closer to him. Read your Bible. Educate yourselves. As of right now, speaking for myself, I can definitely say that I am getting closer and closer whenever I read my Bible, because there's a lot of times in the Bible that I'm having to basically re-educate myself on, because my information came from the movies and the TV shows that I like to grow up watching, such as Ten Commandments and The Prince of Egypt and Joseph King of Dreams and Samson, like movies of religious figures. And a lot of times they are either embellished or they are inaccurate, and they tell false narratives. And I'm like, okay, I need to read the actual words so I can understand what is going on. And so, without going all into that, without going more into that or whatever, because I want to try and stay on topic, because I know I've been a little all over the place, and I do apologize. Let me reiterate, and then I'm gonna close with this. I'm gonna reiterate that if you feel like you have no friends, I am your friend. If you feel like nobody loves you and values you, any walk of life, let me emphasize that, any walk of life that you have, be it gay, be it bi, be it anybody from the LGBT community, be it any race, be it any other culture, like, oh, well, you don't like me because you're a Christian, and you won't like me because I'm a Buddhist, or you won't like me because I'm an atheist, or you won't like me because I'm gay. Those types of conversations, I don't even entertain those types of conversations, because if you want a genuine friendship, a genuine relationship with me, and if you want to learn about God, and you don't want to be preached at in a negative way, you don't want to be talked down to, you don't want to be, you don't want me to condemn you or anything like that, then by all means, I'm not going to. And even if you wanted me to, I wouldn't do it, because that's not what God wants me to do. He wants me to talk to you lovingly. You are a person. You are just a person with a different walk than me. And with all that being said, even though this video was kind of all over the place, I hope I still reached you in some way. May God bless. May you all walk with wisdom. And may we all meet again in the next video. Thank you.